Hello everyone, how are you all doing? I hope you all are doing good. In today's video, we are going to continue a topic from energy flow in an ecosystem, that is biogeochemical cycles. Though the energy flow in an ecosystem is one way, as we studied in the previous video, the flow of nutrients is cyclical. All organisms need nutrients for their growth. The cyclical flow of nutrients within an ecosystem is called the biogeochemical cycle. Right? We have studied in the previous video that the energy will only flow in one particular direction from producers to the consumers and no energy would come back, right? But the flow of nutrients will be cyclical, means the nutrients which were taken up from the plants will be again given back to the soil and then will be again absorbed by the plants, and then the consumers will consume the same nutrients. So the flow is cyclical. Okay, here you can see in the image that conversion of lithosphere into rock or soil, then there will be interaction of hydrosphere, that is water, atmosphere, that is the air, lithosphere with the biosphere. Lithosphere will be soil, land, okay, with the biosphere, that is organisms, plants and animals, right? So there will be atmosphere environment interaction, then there will be interaction of hydrosphere, atmosphere, lithosphere with the biosphere, and again there will be interaction between hydrosphere and atmosphere, and this will go on like that. Is why the flow of nutrients is cyclical, and that is what is called as biogeochemical cycle. Bio for life, geo for earth, chemical for the nutrients, and cycle because the flow is cyclical. So the nutrients necessary for the growth of organisms are continuously transferred from abiotic means non-living, that will be air, water, land, to biotic factors, means the living organisms, plants, animals and other organisms, and biotic to abiotic factors within an ecosystem. This will go on continuously. This cycle operates continuously through the medium of the biosphere formed by the lithosphere, atmosphere and the hydrosphere. That is what we saw here, right? The recycling of biological, geological and chemical sources of nutrients in this process is a complex one and depends upon the level of energy transfer in the ecosystem. Followed? Now there are two types of biogeochemical cycle. One is gaseous cycle, which is present in the atmosphere, Earth's atmosphere, and second one is secondary sedimentary cycle, which is present in the solid form in the earth. Okay, let's see the differences between both of them. Gaseous cycle: an accumulation of the main abiotic gaseous nutrient material, for example nitrogen, is found in the earth's atmosphere. It includes nitrogen, oxygen, carbon dioxide, water vapor and others. And in sedimentary cycle, an accumulation of the main abiotic nutrient materials is found in soil, sediment and sedimentary rocks of the earth. It is basically in the solid form, and gaseous will be in the gaseous form. For example, nitrogen, oxygen, carbon dioxide, like that. It includes all soil components like iron, calcium, phosphorus, etc. All the minerals, right? They are present in the soil in the form of maybe salts, which will be then taken up by the plants and other organisms, right? The gaseous cycle is a speedier cycle than the sedimentary cycle. For example, if carbon dioxide has accumulated in an area, it is quickly dispersed with the wind or absorbed by plants. Climatic changes and human activities seriously affect the speed, intensity, and equilibrium of these cycles. Hence, various aspects of these cycles are extensively studied nowadays. Do you know that the cycle of gases and the sedimentary cycle cannot be completely separated from each other because they are interdependent or interconnected? For example, nitrogen is present in the form of a gas in the atmosphere and in the form of compounds like nitrogen oxide in the soil and sediments. Similarly, carbon occurs in abiotic form mainly in coal, granite, diamond, limestone in the earth's crust and in the form of carbon dioxide gas in the atmosphere. So it is present in the form of solid as well as in the form of a gas. Generally, carbon is present in plants and animals for a much shorter duration than it is in the coal. Followed. Now let us start with the carbon cycle. The circulation and recycling of carbon from the atmosphere to living organisms and after their death back to the atmosphere is called the carbon cycle. Right? Why it is called as a cycle? Because it is returning back to the atmosphere. Abiotic carbon atoms are circulated and recycled into biotic, means living, mainly through photosynthesis and respiration. How? Carbon dioxide which is present in the air, right, which is given out by the animals. This is abiotic carbon outside. Then it will be taken up by the plants with the help of photosynthesis, in the process of photosynthesis. So that becomes a biotic form of carbon. Hence, the carbon cycle is one of the important biogeochemical cycles. Now see here, while animals breathe, right, while animals breathe, they release carbon dioxide in the atmosphere and or certain gases which are released by the burning of fuel, they also release carbon dioxide in the air, correct? So in that case, carbon dioxide will be taken up by the plants and with the help of sunlight, photosynthesis will take place and carbohydrate is produced in the plant, right? These plants will be eaten up by different animals and again they will release carbon dioxide, or once they die they will release their decayed products will be released in the form of fossil fuels in the earth. So this takes a form of a cycle. Followed, plants convert, pay attention to the cycle which is given here. Plants convert carbon dioxide into carbohydrates by the process of photosynthesis. Similarly, they produce carbon compounds like proteins and fats too. Herbivores, means those who eat plant, feed upon plants. Carnivores feed upon herbivores. In this way, biotic carbon is transported from plants to herbivores, from herbivores to carnivores, and from carnivores to the apex consumers. This is how this cycle will go on continuously. You have to practice both the cycles, this one as well as this one, at home properly along with the points given. Followed, eventually after death all types of consumer are decomposed by the decomposers like bacteria and fungi, and carbon dioxide is released again into the atmosphere and used again by living organisms. In this way, carbon is continuously passed on from one living organism to the another living organism. After the death of living organisms, carbon goes to the atmosphere and is again taken up by living organisms. Now, what are the main processes in the carbon cycle? Just see, 6 CO2, that is 6 molecules of carbon dioxide, plus 12 H2O, that is 12 molecules of water, in the presence of sunlight and chlorophyll. Chlorophyll is that green pigment which is present in the plant. leads to the formation of C6H12O6, that is sugar, glucose, along with 6 molecules of water and 6 molecules of oxygen, which is shown by the upward arrow. That means it is released in the air or in the atmosphere. Correct? Now once this particular sugar is taken up by any living organism or animals, this glucose will react in the presence of oxygen in mitochondria, which is again a cell organelle. It will form 6 molecules of carbon dioxide, which is again breathed out, and water molecules, 6 molecules of it, along with energy in the form of ATP, adenosine triphosphate. Followed, students? Now, do you know that carbon dioxide is released into the atmosphere through abiotic processes like burning of fossil fuels and wood, forest fires, and volcanic activities? Oxygen is released into the atmosphere by the biotic process of photosynthesis and carbon dioxide through respiration. The equilibrium of oxygen and carbon dioxide gases in the atmosphere is maintained by plants. It's a very important information. You must know it. Now moving on to the next cycle, that is the oxygen cycle. Now oxygen cycle and carbon cycle, they are interconnected. Oxygen forms 21% of the atmosphere. It is also present in the hydrosphere and lithosphere. Circulation and recycling of oxygen within the biosphere is called the oxygen cycle. This cycle too includes both the biotic and abiotic components. Oxygen is continuously produced as well as used up in the atmosphere. Now here you can see plants will produce oxygen. Can you see this reaction? Here in this reaction oxygen is produced, right? It is released in the air. Animals will breathe in that oxygen. Also, the breakdown of sugar molecules will take place in the animals and they will give out carbon dioxide. See here you can see breaking down of glucose molecule leading to the formation of 6 carbon dioxide, water along with energy. Correct? So the plants will absorb carbon dioxide and produce food material, and thus continuously that cycle will go on. Oxygen is highly reactive and it readily reacts with other elements and compounds. As oxygen is found in various forms like molecular oxygen, water, carbon dioxide, inorganic compounds, etc., the oxygen cycle of the biosphere is extremely complex. Oxygen is released in the process of photosynthesis, whereas it is used up in processes like respiration, combustion, decomposition, corrosion, rusting, etc. Here again a cycle is shown wherein plant is releasing oxygen in the air, right? Plants create that oxygen with the help of photosynthesis. Animals and plants breathe in that oxygen, release carbon dioxide, plants absorb that carbon dioxide, perform photosynthesis, again release oxygen, and the same cycle goes on. Do you know that most microorganisms use oxygen for respiration? Such microbes are called as aerobes because they perform aerobic respiration. Okay, microbes which do not need oxygen are called as anaerobes because they perform anaerobic respiration. Oxygen is important for the synthesis of proteins, carbohydrates, and fats. It is also used in various chemical reactions. Ozone, which is O3, is produced from oxygen through various atmospheric processes. Moving on to the next cycle, that is the nitrogen cycle. Nitrogen forms 78%, that is the maximum portion of the atmosphere. It is necessary for the maintenance of cycle of nature. Also, the circulation and recycling of nitrogen gas into the form of different compounds through various biotic and abiotic processes in nature is called the nitrogen cycle, right? Because nitrogen is mostly in air, it needs to be fixed. So how nitrogen is fixed, that we are going to study here. All organisms participate in the nitrogen cycle, even bacteria. It is an important component of proteins and nucleic acids. Nucleic acids means DNA and RNA, right? Deoxyribonucleic acid and ribose nucleic acid. As compared to other elements, it is inactive and does not easily combine with other elements. Most organisms cannot use the free form of nitrogen. Now, what are the important processes? These 4 processes you must know. First, nitrogen fixation, in which the conversion of nitrogen into nitrates and nitrites take place. How? Through atmospheric, industrial and biological processes. Second process is ammonification, wherein release of ammonia through decomposition of dead bodies and excretory waste of organisms take place, right? Then third is nitrification, conversion of ammonia into a nitrite and then nitrate. Then next, denitrification, conversion of nitrogen compounds into gaseous nitrogen. All these 4 processes are very important for the nitrogen cycle to take place. I hope it is clear to everyone. Please do practice all the cycles at home. It is very, very important from the examination point of view as well. Thank you students for watching the video.